Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are putting together my summer TBR and talking about all the books that I plan to read over the summer season. If you've been a long watcher of my TBRs, I used to do them monthly and I had a whole TBR jar full of prompts and challenges that I would use to select my TBRs. Then I started doing them seasonally and I would still use that jar to choose a few books. We have now upgraded. Okay, we've upgraded. So my TBRs, instead of being chosen by a jar, they will now be chosen by this wheel. On this wheel, I have a ton of challenges to help me get through my backlist books. If you've been watching my last couple of uploads, you will know that I went on a whole unhauling journey and I got rid of a ton of books, and I've now pared down my physical TBR to the books that I'm actually the most excited to read. And everything you see behind me, the TBR cart, this shelf, it's all of my physical TBR. My goal over the next year is to get my physical TBR down to 0, and all of these challenges here are different ways to help me select backlist books. So we have different things on here like from a book subscription box, second chance author, a genre you rarely read, cover by, translated, a sequel, so many different things. So I'm gonna be using this to choose a few books. Not every book on my TBR, but I will spin the wheel a few times. And then I have some other books that I already know that I wanna read over the next couple of months. So we're just gonna start. I will start with doing the wheel spins. I figured I would do one spin per month. So I will do a spin for June, July, and August. So we're gonna get our first spin. Are you guys ready? It landed on last book in a series. Oh my god, okay. I'll bring you up to my series shelf. All of these books right here are what's on my active series. And these are like the next books that I have to read. A lot of these though are not the last book. Let's see if I can find one that's the last book. Ooh, I see it down on the end. Two Twisted Crowns. This is the last book. I think that might be the only one I have where I'm on the last one. So we have last book in a series. I'm going with Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. This is a duology, so I've read book one, One Dark Window, and I really enjoyed it, and I have been wanting to read the second book. This is a fantasy book about a world where there's like a magical plague, and anyone who catches the plague gets these like magical powers, and they're hunted down for them. There's also like magic surrounding these deck of cards, and these people are trying to collect all the cards so they can have all the magic. I had so much fun with the first book. I gave it 4 stars, but I've heard that book 2 is even better. Next spin. This is so fun. All right, that landed on a genre you rarely read. Okay. So my most read genres are fantasy, horror, and romance. I guess I read a fair amount of like lit fic. I would say the genres I rarely read, not rarely, but I don't read as often, is sci-fi, even though I love it. And I always say this, I love sci-fi, I just rarely gravitate towards it. So let's find a sci-fi book, I guess. Some sci-fi books that I could pick. We have The All-Consuming World by Cassandra Khaw, who I actually just read a book from and gave 5 stars. Where's some more sci-fi? I don't really know that I have a ton of sci-fi. I think this is sci-fi. This one's about like robots, which could be interesting. Down here, I think this one is sci-fi. Okay, so I'm gonna go with The All-Consuming World by Cassandra Khaw. Like I said, I just read a book by them and loved it. It was The Salt Grows Heavy. Oh my god, 5 stars. One of my favorite books of the year so far. So I'm very interested to read this. I believe it's like a sci-fi horror, or it's like sci-fi leaning horror. It's about a woman who has been resurrected into countless cyborg bodies through the years as part of a dangerous career with the infamous Dirty Dozen, which is like a crew of criminals, and then her crew gets taken down. Then decades later, she's trying to get her crew back together to solve the mystery of their last mission. It sounds really interesting. So we're gonna go with that for my genre I rarely read. One more wheel spin. Oh, we got last book in a series again. No. Meant to read last year. Okay. Oh, wait. I see something. Okay, this is a book that I meant to read last year because I got it as a gift last year and then I just never got around to it. and that is Can't Spell Treason Without T by Rebecca Thorne. This is a sapphic cozy fantasy, and it actually was just traditionally published. I've heard that this has like Legends and Lattes vibes. It's about two girls who want to open a bookshop that serves tea. The problem is that one of the girls works as the queen's private guard, and the other one is the most powerful mage in existence. So their lives are a little complicated. Their lives are getting in the way of their dreams of opening up this bookshop that serves tea. It just sounds really fun and cute. Okay, that's enough of the wheel. I have a bunch of other TBR books that I'm for sure planning on reading. The first one is my Patreon book club book for June, and that is Road to Ruin by Hannah Lee. This sounds so good, and I'm really excited that my patrons picked this. We did a whole book bracket where there was like 16 books that they were like voting down between until they got to the one book, and this was the one book that was chosen, which I was very happy with because this was the one that I really wanted to win. This is the final one. Oh yeah, they're both poly. Oh my god, they are both poly. Oh my god, are you guys ready? We have a winner. We have a winner. And it's Road to Ruin. Here was the whole bracket. Here we go. When I tell you guys, this was the book that I wanted to win. So this is a new queer poly fantasy that is pitched as like Mad Max vibes. It takes place in this wasteland, apocalyptic world, and the main character is a magic bike courier. Her job is to venture outside the domed cities and to ride through the wastelands on this magically powered bike to carry messages. And during one of her messenger jobs, she helps the princess escape her abusive family, and together they travel across the wasteland until they are tracked down by a bounty hunter. It sounds so fun, and I feel like it's perfect timing for this book because Furiosa just came out, and I cannot wait to read this with my patrons. Okay, next I have 3 books that either just came out, are about to come out, or they're gonna come out towards the end of summer. First up, you guys can see Evocation by S.T. Gibson. This one is a poly fantasy with like demons and occult magic and like secret societies. It sounds really good. I am kind of lowering my expectations a little bit because you guys know A Dowry Blood, one of my all-time favorite books, but I was so let down by An Education in Malice. So I have lowered my expectations slightly, but I am still very excited to read this. Also, this book is just gorgeous, like stunning. Beautiful. Then we have The Honey Witch by Sydney J. Shields, which is probably one of my most anticipated books of the whole year. I cannot wait to read this. This is a sapphic cottagecore fantasy romance that just sounds so perfect for me. It sounds like it has like Howl's Moving Castle vibes, Rumpy Sunshine, cottagecore, honey, magic, like it just sounds amazing. And then the last one comes out not until August, and that is You're the Problem, It's You by Emma R. Albin. This is the sequel to Don't Want You Like a Best Friend, which I loved. That was a sapphic historical romance, and this one follows 2 side characters from that book, and it's an MM romance, and I just can't wait. It's giving queer Bridgerton. The first book was so good. This one is another kind of like matchmaking situation where the 2 girls from book 1 are trying to set up these 2 guys with each other, and I just feel like it's gonna be an amazing time. I cannot wait to read this. The next little section of books are all books that I would like to read for Summerween. So Summerween is taking place in July. It's hosted by Gabby from Gabby Reads. It's my favorite readathon of the whole year. One of the few that I like religiously participate in, and I do vlogs for them. It's all about reading horror and thrillers. I don't have my entire TBR planned because always what happens every year is I plan out a TBR and then I see what everyone else is reading and I change my mind. Okay, so first, it's kind of become a tradition every Summerween for me to read a Grady Hendrix book. So the only Grady Hendrix book that I have left that I haven't read is We Sold Our Souls. This one is about a heavy metal band in the 90s on their way to breakout success until the lead singer decides to quit the band and go solo. And so everyone else in the band, their careers kind of stop while this lead singer is like doing amazing. And then the main character, who was the lead guitarist, realizes the reason she's had so much bad luck and her life is terrible is because the lead singer made a deal with the devil for him to have success. It sounds really fun. I love Grady Hendrix. I always have fun with them. And it's kind of just a little fun Summerween tradition that I have now. Next, a book that I've been wanting to read for Summerween every single year since it came out, and then it keeps not happening. And this year I'm gonna make it happen. It's a priority, and that is Mary by Nat Cassidy. This just sounds so good. So many people love it. I keep intending on reading it. I feel like every Summerween I kind of pull it out as an option, and then I just don't get to it. It says it blends Midsummer with elements of American Psycho, about a middle-aged woman who starts getting these terrifying visions. Like, is she going crazy? Is she the killer? Like, what's happening? It just sounds so good. And then the last book that I for sure want to read during Summerween is Someone You Can Build a Nest In by John Wiswell. It's a cozy horror monster romance. Okay, are you following? Cozy horror monster romance following the point of view of the monster, which just sounds so fun. It's following this monster who's a shapeshifter who is on the run from all of these monster hunters. As she's fleeing them, she falls off a cliff and gets very badly injured, and this human girl comes across her, and in order not to scare the human girl, she like shapeshifts into a human form. The girl takes her back to her home and is like nursing her back to health, and they're falling in love. But then the monster finds out that this girl is part of that monster hunting family, and she's like, oh my god, I need to kill her, but I don't want to because she's my girlfriend and I love her. It just sounds fun and cute, and I think it's gonna be a good time. Okay, this last little stack of books, these are ones that just feel like they have summer vibes to me, and I want to read them during the summer. So first up, we have Dial A for Aunties by Jessie Q. Sutanto. This one I believe is like a cozy mystery about this girl who goes on a blind date, and then her date accidentally dies. So she calls up all her aunties to like come help her get rid of the body, and it just sounds like it's gonna be a really fun, quirky, silly time. I don't know, it just gives me summer vibes, like the cover. And also something about summer to me is like cute, silly, murder mysteries, like those kind of vibes. Just like fun, not super serious books. Next, I have A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic by Jay Penner. This is another cozy fantasy about a baking competition between all of these different magical beings, and it sounds really cute. Cozy baking, I don't know, that gives me summer vibes. And then, okay, this last one, I need you guys to have an intervention for me, actually, because my goal this summer is to finish the Chestnut Spring series. I have 3 books left. Okay, I have 3 books left. I can read these. I can do it. I can do it with your help. Please, I'm calling in the troops. I'm calling in reinforcements. Get me to read these books, please, because I keep dragging my feet doing it. I love this series so much. This is like a small town cowboy romance series that I love. I love it, and I don't want it to be over, but I need to read them. It needs to happen, okay? And if it's not gonna happen during the summer, it's never gonna happen. These are summer books. I wanna read them during the summer, so make it happen. So we have book 3, Powerless, Reckless, and Hopeless. You guys, hold me accountable. So there we have my summer TBR. Oh my god, it's heavy. Those are all of the books that I want to read over the next couple of months. Definitely let me know in the comments, out of all of these books, is there one that you're just like dying to hear about or very excited about, or any of these that you've read and love? Also, let me know, are you guys going to be participating in Summerween? I am so excited for it. I know it's still like a month away, but I have just been so excited ever since it was announced. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe, and check out my Patreon where I post tons of exclusive content. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!